Good morning to all. I am Prof.Manavalam. Now we are going to see about the process of implantation of fertilized egg in the uterine cavity. Implantation, it is also called as a war in times of love. Yes, the love between the pregnant mother and the developing embryo. At the same time, it is a war. Why? The developing embryo, it is undergoing too many struggle, and this process is a complex, often challenging one. It is taking or following too many tactics in order to attach with the pregnant endometrium. So while the process of attaching with the pregnant endometrium, it is having a cooperation relationship, at the same time conflicts which will be present between the pregnant endometrium and the developing embryo. That's why it is called as a war in times of love. Next, move on to the definition of implantation. It is a process in which the developing embryo, it is called as a blastocyst, while it is entering into the uterine cavity. It is attached with the definitive area of intrauterine wall or endometrium is called as a implantation. The time of implantation, after reaching the uterus, the developing blastocyst, it is remaining 1 to 3 days in the uterine cavity. 6th or 7th day, it is started to implant into the uterine cavity. The site of implantation. Normally, the blastocyst is implanted either anterior or posterior part of the body of the uterus, mainly near to the fundus. The events that takes place from the fertilization process to implantation. The fertilization, it is a process of fusion of male and female gametes. This process is really happening in envelope part of the fallopian tube. After fusion, it becoming as a single cell. Then this single cell, it is undergoing the mitosis cell division. This process also called as a cleavage. Here, the multiplication of the cells which will be taking place, this multiplication is called as a binary cell division. So first day it is becoming as a 2, second day it is becoming as a 4, next day it is becoming as a 8, next day it is becoming as a 16, 32, 64, like that it will be getting developed. During 4th day, it is reaching 32 cell stage. It is called as a morula, or otherwise it is called as a cluster of cells. It looks like a mulberry or raspberry. Next, it will be entering into the stage of blastocyst. Blastocyst is usually called as a fluid-filled cavity. It has the two structure. Inside it has the inner cell mass. Outside it has a trapezoderm. Later, the inner cell mass, it is developing as a fetus and amniotic cavity. The outer trapezoderm, it is developing as a syncytiotropoblast and a cytotrophoblastic layer. So the developing embryo, it will be entered in the stage of blastocyst into the uterine cavity on day 5. After that, the process of implantation is getting started. So in the process of implantation, it's happening into the pregnant endometrium. So this pregnant endometrium is called as a decidua. Why it is called as a decidua means there are a lot of secretory as well as proliferative action, or it is an action that took place in the pregnant endometrium because under the influence of progesterone and estrogen. Because of this, the thickness of the endometrium, which will be getting increased to up to 5 mm. At the same time, the glands, stromal cell as well as the new blood vessels which will be getting developed, it is increased in action. So the pregnant endometrium, it is getting developed well in order to receive the embryo. At the same time, to provide to meet the nutritional needs of the embryo, and other needs of the embryo. For this, the structures of endometrium, it is undergoing secretory and proliferative changes. This changes is called as a decidual reaction. Because of these changes, the structure of the decidua, it is divided into three: decidua basalis, parietalis, capsularis. Decidua basalis, it is forming as a base part of or maternal part of the placenta. Next, capsularis, it is covering the implanted embryo. It is covering the implanted embryo. Parietalis, it is the next structure. So in later weeks, once the embryo it started developing or growing, automatically the capsularis and the parietalis, it is obliterated and it is attached together and forming as a single structure. So these are all the changes that is happening in the pregnant endometrium in order to receive the embryo and provide or meet the needs of embryo. That is called as a decidual reaction. Next, move on to the process of implantation. It took place by three ways: apposition, adhesion and invasion. Apposition, it is nothing but, already we seen, the developing embryo, it is entered in the form of blastocyst into the uterine cavity. So this blastocyst on the day of 6th or 7th, it is attaching to the endometrial epithelium. It is attaching to the endometrial epithelium. This tethering or apposition or attachment process is called as a apposition. It is not a strongest bond between the blastocyst and the endometrial epithelium. So in order to make this process so strong, next it is undergoing the process of adhesion. It is one kind of cell-mediated event. Here, the cell-mediated substance like integrins, selectins, which will be getting secreted from the syncytotropoplastic, the outer layer of the trophoblast. It will be secreting. So it will be further forming the finger-like structure, that is pinopoids. It is help for strong attachment with the endometrial epithelium. So this pinopoid, it is intruding into the endometrial epithelium and getting attached with the endometrial epithelium. During this process, the blastocyst is covered by the zona pellucida. This zona pellucida, it is getting stretched out under the inner cell mass. The blastocyst, it will be coming out from the zona pellucida layer. That process is called as a zona hatching. After this, the outer layer, I said the blastocyst, it have the two structure: outer trophoblast, inner, it has the inner cell mass. The inner cell mass, it is divided as a, later it is developing as a fetus as well as amnion. The outer, the trophoblast, it is becoming the syncytotrophoblast and cytotrophoblast. This cytotrophoblast becoming as a placenta. It is becoming as a placenta and chorion in later weeks. So the first adhesion process. Next, move on to the invasion. During the process of invasion, the outer layer, I said no, the trophoblast, it is divided into syncio and cytotrophoblast. The syncytotrophoblast, the outermost layer, it is invading into the endometrial epithelium. It is intruding like a balloon structure. It is intruding like a balloon structure. The red mark what you have seen, intruding like a balloon structure. So while it is intruding into the endometrial epithelium, in between this syncytotrophoblast structure, there is a space. That space is called as a lacunae. So in this lacunae, the maternal blood vessels, which will be pouring blood into this lacunae. That's why it is called as a pool of blood. Later, this pool of blood, this lacunae, become as a intravillous space. This is the main area where the blood circulation which will be happening between the fetus and the maternal. So first layer of the sincere trophoblast entering and it is invading. Later the blastocyst, it will be completely invaded into the endometrial epithelium and it is covered by the decidua capsularis. It is fully entered into the decidua basalis. It is covered by the decidua capsularis. So that's all about the process of implantation. Thank you all.